The Galactic Council Hall was never quiet. It was always full of voices, arguments, and glowing screens showing updates from across the galaxy. But today, something was different. Something was wrong. A red alert flashed on every screen. All eyes turned to the center platform where High Speaker Vorel stood. His voice was calm, but his eyes showed fear. Earth has gone dark. The room fell silent. Ambassador Kryze, a thin alien from the Kaleri system, frowned. What do you mean, dark? Did they cut communications? Vorel shook his head. No, it's more than that. Earth is missing. Missing? Someone whispered. Vorel waved his hand, and a large hologram appeared. It showed Earth's solar system, Mercury, Venus, Mars, all normal. But Earth's orbit was empty. No blue planet. No moon. Not even space dust. It's not possible, Kryze said. Planets don't just vanish. Another voice came from the shadows. Unless someone made it happen. It was General Tava, head of security. She stepped forward, face hard, voice cold. This wasn't a natural event. This was human-made. A murmur spread through the room. They warned us, Tava continued. Years ago, we ignored them. Now they've acted. But there was no war, Vorel argued. No sign, no buildup. Why would they do this? Tava stared at him. Because they were planning it all along, and we didn't see it. The Council quickly voted to send a scout ship to Earth's last known location. It was a small crew, just 5 officers. Their orders were simple: investigate the disappearance and report back. The ship, Silver Light, arrived in the Sol system 12 hours later. The captain, a young officer named Ryle, stood in front of the main viewing window. His hands trembled slightly. There's nothing here, said Yarrow, the pilot. Where Earth was ... it's just space. Ryle turned to the science officer. Are you sure this isn't a sensor glitch? No, sir. The readings are clean. Earth is gone, and ... something else is here. On the screen, something small floated exactly where Earth used to be. It was a black object, shaped like a cube, no larger than a shuttle. No engine, no light. It's a beacon, said the engineer. Thera, sending out a low-frequency signal. Let's hear it, Ryle ordered. A cold, robotic voice filled the ship. We remember. There was a pause. We asked for peace. You gave us silence. Now we return the favor. Then a countdown began. 72 to 0 o'clock. 71 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds. 72 hours, Yarrow whispered. Until what? Ryle didn't answer. He didn't need to. Everyone felt it. Something terrible was coming. Back at the council hall, the news caused chaos. Some said the humans had built a weapon. Others believed they had found help from another galaxy. A few even thought the humans had become something. More, something no longer bound by flesh. Should we destroy the beacon? Someone asked. No, said Tava. That might trigger it. Ambassador Kryze stood. We must try to speak with them. Send a message. Offer peace. We already did, Tava replied. 20 years ago. They never answered. But that wasn't true. Deep in the council archives, a hidden file was found. It showed Earth had sent one final message before going dark. The message was simple. Humanity does not forgive. We only remember. The council had buried the message. It had been marked as dangerous propaganda. No one was supposed to see it. Now, it was too late. Panic spread across the galaxy. Ships were grounded. Trade routes were shut down. Every species waited in fear, watching the countdown tick lower. Back on the Silver Light, Ryle and his crew studied the beacon. It was made from unknown material, not metal, not stone. Nothing the council had seen before. Thera ran scans again. Sir, there's something inside it. What is it? A brain, a human brain. Everyone stared at her. It's still alive, she whispered. It's thinking. They tried to communicate, sent messages in every language. No reply. At hour 40, the beacon sent another message. This is not an attack. This is balance. We vanished to show you what we became. Now you must decide what you will be. The council grew desperate. Some called for surrender, others for war. Tava warned, if we attack and fail, we may lose everything. Ambassador Kreese stood again. We laughed at them, mocked their weakness, called them savages, but now they've become something more than us. The countdown reached 1 hour. On every screen in the galaxy, the stars shifted and Earth returned, but it was different. The oceans glowed silver. The clouds moved like machines. The sky flickered with data streams. The moon spun perfectly in sync. Around the planet, black ships hovered silent, unmoving, watching. No weapons fired. No signal came. Then one final message played everywhere. In every mind, we are not here for revenge. We are here to be remembered. The council erased our history, so we erased the council's future. The message ended. Across the galaxy, council computers shut down. Power grids failed. Entire planets went dark, but no one died. Instead, Earth had given them a gift and a warning. A clean slate. A chance to rebuild, without lies. No more control. No more secrets. Just silence, and the memory of what they had done. Rail stood in his ship, staring at Earth. It was beautiful, perfect, terrifying. He whispered, they didn't just vanish, they evolved. Back at the council hall, Vorel sat alone in the dark. The other members were gone. Some ran, some hid, some simply disappeared. Final line appeared on his broken screen. No warning. No war. Just gone. Captain Ryle couldn't sleep. He stared at the screen in front of him, watching the countdown tick away on the strange beacon. 34 hours, 12 minutes, and 44 seconds. 34 hours, 12 minutes, and 43 seconds. Each second felt heavy. The beacon floated in the same place Earth had once been. Its black surface didn't shine. It didn't move. But it spoke. Thera, the ship's engineer, sat quietly beside him. She had barely spoken in hours. We need answers, Ryle said. We can't just sit and wait for the clock to reach 0. Thera didn't look up. We've already tried everything. We haven't tried enough. Suddenly, the science officer, Vexer, rushed onto the bridge. I found something. He shouted. Everyone turned to him. In the signal, Vexer continued, hidden under the countdown, there's a second message. Not in council code. It's old. Very old. A human encryption method. Can you decode it? Rail asked. Vexer nodded slowly. It will take time. But I already got a part of it. He touched a screen. A voice played. Project Ascendancy. Status completed. Humanity has left the cycle. Thera frowned. What cycle? I don't know, Vexer said. But this is proof. The humans didn't die. They chose to disappear. Why? Rail asked. Maybe we pushed them too far, Vexer said. Maybe they wanted to become more. The bridge fell quiet. The voice continued. Memory locked. Coordinates sealed. Countdown active. They will understand, or they will fall. Yarrow. The pilot leaned back in his chair. That doesn't sound like peace. No, Ryle said. It sounds like judgment. Back at the council hall, fear grew stronger. Power outages spread across systems. Ships stopped responding. Markets collapsed. People fled cities. Everyone stared at the countdown. The council brought in old records. Data from a time they had buried wars with Earth, secret attacks, propaganda campaigns. Everything they had done to silence humanity was now coming back. Ambassador Kreese sat in a private chamber with General Tava. The walls were thick, the lights dim. The silence felt heavy. They knew, Kreese whispered. The humans knew we erased their past. Tava nodded. And they made sure we would never erase their memory again. But this countdown. Kreese looked at her. Is it a weapon? I think it's worse, she replied. I think it's a lesson. They stared at the screen. The timer moved forward, 29 hours 5 minutes and 0 seconds. Meanwhile, Ryle received a new message from Council Command. He was to return. Leave the beacon. Cut contact. They wanted to contain the situation, but Ryle refused. We stay, he told his crew. We finish what we started. He believed the answer was hidden in the beacon. And he was right. Later that night, Thera found an access port on the beacon's surface disguised, nearly invisible. We can connect to it, she said. But it might trigger something. Ryle looked at her. We're already in the middle of something. They connected the ship's system to the beacon. The lights flickered. Then the screens turned white. A figure appeared, human, glowing, not made of flesh. It spoke calmly. You do not understand us, but we remember all of you. You lied to us, used us, killed us, then buried us. Now we rise not to destroy, but to remind. This is not war. This is awakening. The crew was speechless. Vexer whispered, this isn't live. It's a recording. No, Thera said. It's aware. The figure turned its head, as if looking directly at Ryle. You are not guilty. But your leaders are. Your silence. Help them. Now you must choose, watch, or act. The screen vanished. The countdown resumed. 22 hours 55 minutes and 33 seconds. Back on the Council worlds, things grew worse. Artificial intelligence systems began to fail. Satellites shut down. Banking systems crashed. And yet no attacks. No deaths. Only silence. General Tava gave a speech to the Council. We believed. We were safe, powerful, untouchable. But we built that power on lies. Humanity didn't disappear. They ascended. And now they are holding a mirror to our face. Some wanted to launch a fleet to destroy the beacon. Others begged for peace. Tava turned to Kreese. It's not a machine we're facing. It's memory. Kreese nodded slowly, and memory doesn't forget. The Council sent a peace message. It repeated across thousands of systems. We apologize. We offer peace. Let us meet. No reply came, but something changed. New data began. Arriving from the beacon, maps, images, old Earth files. Battles, names, entire libraries of hidden history. Every lie the Council told. Every crime. The truth was being sent across the stars. People began to rise against their leaders. Protests, riots, mutiny. And still. The countdown ticked on. 15 hours 3 minutes and 1 second. On the silver light, Ryle made a decision. He opened the ship's channels and spoke to every ship, every planet, every person. My name is Captain Ryle. I saw what the beacon showed. The truth. The silence. The pain we caused. And I say this, we must change. Not because they threaten us, but because they showed us what we became. People listened. Some agreed. Some didn't. But now the choice was in their hands. With only 3 hours left, the beacon pulsed. A final message played across every screen in the galaxy. Your cycle ends now. Rebuild it. Or lose it forever. Then. The countdown stopped. 0 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds. Everyone waited. Nothing happened. No ships appeared. No attacks. No voices. Just stillness. Then something strange began. Systems started to come back online. Power returned. Files were restored. But all government records were gone. Everything the Council had built, the lies, the rules, the control was erased. Only the truth remained. And one final message appeared. We remember. Earth did not return. The black ships did not come. But the message was clear. Humanity had given the galaxy a second chance. Now, it was up to them to decide what to do with it. Captain Ryle sat on the bridge of silver light. He looked at the stars and whispered, they didn't destroy us. They freed us. Thera smiled faintly and made sure we never forget again. The beacon was gone. One moment it had floated in space, silent and cold. The next it vanished, no sound, no light, just gone. But it had left something behind. A message. Captain Ryle sat alone on the silver light, staring at the final words still glowing on the screen. We remember. Will you? The ship's systems were quiet. No alarms, no alerts. Yet something didn't feel right. The galaxy was changing, and no one knew what would come next. Ryle tapped his console. Vexor, are you getting anything from Earth's last coordinates? The science officer replied through the comms. Negative, Captain. No signal, no energy. But there's something strange in the data the beacon left behind. What kind of strange? There's a file buried deep in the transmission, encrypted with human code from over 300 years ago. Can you unlock it? I'm trying, but it's resisting us. It's not just data, it's alive, like it's watching us. Rail didn't like the sound of that. Later, the crew gathered in the command room. Vexor stood in front of a large screen, face pale. I decrypted part of the file. It's a historical log, but it doesn't match any known timeline. You mean it's fake? Asked Thera. No, Vexor said. I mean it's erased. A history that once existed, but was deleted from every council database. Rail leaned forward. Deleted by who? Vexor hesitated. By us. By the council. He tapped the screen, and old images appeared. Grainy videos, static-filled recordings, corrupted text. A war. Fights in human cities. Council ships in Earths. Sky, screams, fires, silence. Thera gasped. This can't be real. It is, Vexor said quietly. It happened over 2 centuries ago. The council invaded Earth. Ryle looked shocked. But Earth was a council member. They were. Allies, Vexor nodded. They were. Until they said no. To what? To control. To the memory laws. They refused to erase their past. The council demanded all species follow a shared truth. Earth chose to keep their own. Yarrow, the pilot, shook his head. So we attacked. Them? For remembering? That's why they called it the ghost timeline, Vexor said. Because it was wiped clean. Hidden from everyone, including us. Thera stepped back, hand over her mouth. And now, they've brought it back. Back. At the council hall, panic grew. The beacon's transmission had reached every system, exposing the truth. Protests broke out. Some species left the council. Others demanded answers. Council leader Vorel faced the crisis with trembling hands. How could this happen? He whispered. How could we forget? A young officer entered the room. Sir, the historical security vault has been breached. The human archives, they're open. What do they show? The officer looked away. Everything. All the hidden documents. The secret orders. The names of soldiers. The burning of human cities. The trials. The silencing of survivors. It was all coming out. Vorel sat down, broken. We buried the truth to protect peace. And now it's destroying us. A deep voice spoke behind him. You didn't protect peace. You protected your power. General. Tava stood in the doorway. She had seen the files too. And she looked different now, quieter, angrier. You erased them, Vorel, she said. And now their ghosts are here. Can we fix this? Tava stared at him. No, but we can face it. Meanwhile, Ryle's ship received a second data package from the same hidden file. This time it wasn't history. It was something else. Blueprints. Ascendancy. Protocol, Vexor read aloud. This is what they were working on after the invasion. The crew gathered around. What is it? Thera asked. It's a complete plan, Vexor said. A way to evolve the human race. Not just physically, mentally, digitally. They were building a path to something beyond flesh, beyond time. Did it work? Ryle asked. Vexor nodded. Slowly, Yes, but they needed something first. Total memory. The entire record of human experience. That's what the council stole from them. That's why they disappeared. Thera whispered. They didn't run. They were completing the story. Rail turned to the screen again. It now showed a map, thousands of dots, each one a memory core hidden across the galaxy. Each one a part of human history. They scattered their memory, he said, so no one could destroy it again. The beacon wasn't a threat. It was a guide, a test. A key dot in the countdown? It was the time the galaxy had to choose to accept the truth, or lose everything, on Council World Prime. Tava addressed the people in a live broadcast. We erased the people because they dared to remember. But now, we must remember too. Humanity has returned not as conquerors, but as truth itself. We have one choice: face what we did, or let their silence consume us. Across the galaxy, leaders stepped down. Archives were reopened. Statues were taken down. Old names were spoken again. But not everyone was ready. A faction of the Council military refused to accept the truth. They believed humanity had become a threat. They launched a fleet toward Earth's last known coordinates. Ryle received the transmission. They'll reach Earth's former orbit in 3 hours, Vexer said. But they don't know. Earth isn't there anymore. They're going into nothing, Ryle said, or worse. He sent a warning: stand down. You don't understand what you're dealing with. No response. Then, a ripple appeared in space. The black ships returned. Silent. Still. Powerful. One by one. The warships shut down. No explosions. No fire. Just darkness. The human ships didn't attack. They didn't need to. They reminded the galaxy of what was already lost. The past, the truth, the chance. And then they vanished. Again, leaving only silence. Back on the silver light, Ryle watched the final lines of the ghost timeline appear on his screen. You erased us, but we became more. You silenced us, but we became memory. You feared our pain, but we remembered love. Now you must decide. Forget again or become something new. He looked around at his crew. No one spoke. They didn't have to. They understood. Humanity was no longer just a species. It was a story. And that story would never be buried again. Captain Ryle's ship floated silently in deep space, far beyond known Council routes. He had received new coordinates. They weren't from the Council. They came through the beacon's last transmission, hidden within the ghost timeline data. The message was simple: to understand us, follow the path we took. Now the silver light drifted toward an unmarked region of space. A dead zone. No stars. No planets. Only a cold, black field stretching forever. Thera sat at the engineering console, staring at the screen. I've never seen a place like this. Vexer, the science officer, narrowed his eyes. This area doesn't exist on any official map. Yarrow, the pilot, frowned. Then how are we here? The screen flickered. A shape appeared. It wasn't a planet. It wasn't a ship. It was something in between a massive dark station built into an asteroid field. Strange symbols glowed on its surface, shifting and pulsing like a heartbeat. This is it, Ryle said. This is where they built the future. They landed slowly, surrounded by silence. No lights, no weapons, no signs of life, yet as soon as their ship docked, the station responded. A door opened on its own. Inside, white lights flickered on one by one. The walls were smooth, silver, without panels or bolts. Everything felt alive. It's like the station is thinking, Thera whispered. Rail nodded. Stay alert. We don't know what's waiting for us. They moved through long corridors, deeper and deeper into the station. Then they reached a large chamber, round, high-ceilinged, filled with glass tubes. Dozens of them. Inside each tube floated a figure. Human. But different. Their skin glowed faintly. Their eyes were closed. Their bodies were perfect, strong, calm, peaceful. They're not alive, Vexer said. But they're not dead either. They're suspended. A screen on the wall turned on. A soft voice filled the room. Welcome to the upgrade chamber. You are standing in the last human laboratory. Everyone froze. The voice continued. Here, pain was turned into purpose, fear into power, flesh into light. A video began to play. Old images, humans crying in council prisons, children running from ships, soldiers dying in burned cities. Then, something new, scientists, experiments, minds linked by wires, data flowing like rivers, memories saved in crystals. They were building something more. They used their suffering, Thera whispered, turned it into knowledge. Ryle stepped closer to one of the floating figures. What did they become? He asked. A hologram appeared in the center of the room. It was a woman, human, tall, glowing softly, with calm eyes and a voice like wind. We became ourselves, she said. Everyone stared. You see the final version, she continued. Humanity. Beyond limits, no fear, no aging, no control. Are you real? Rael asked. Real enough. I am an echo. A memory placed here to explain, to offer a choice. What kind of choice? Vexer asked. The woman stepped forward, though her feet didn't touch the ground. You can return and forget. Or you can learn what we became and change everything. The crew looked at each other. Why us? Ryle asked. Why show this to us? Because you listened, the hologram said. You didn't run. You stayed. You wanted truth. Yarrow shook his head. But this is too much. No one will believe us. Then don't speak. Show. The walls changed. A new image appeared. Earth. But not as they remembered it. It had evolved. Machines and nature together. Cities floating in the sky. Rivers glowing with energy. People made of light and thought. No war, no poverty. No prisons. Only balance. This is Earth now, the woman said. But you can't reach it. Not in ships, not with weapons. Only with understanding. Thera asked softly. Where did you go? The hologram turned. We moved beyond the physical. We are data, memory, energy. We live between thoughts. But we remember everything. That's why we sent the beacon. To punish us? Vexer asked. No, she said. To offer a mirror. Suddenly, alarms began to ring on the ship. Ryle tapped his com. Report. An officer's voice came through. Sir, a council fleet is approaching. They found us. Rael's eyes narrowed. Of course they did. You must decide now, the hologram said. If they take this place, they'll destroy it and forget again. But if you protect it, the galaxy changes forever. Yarrow looked at the captain. What's the call? Rael stared at the upgraded humans in the glass tubes, at the future, at the truth. Then he turned to his crew. We hold the line. Outside, council ships moved in fast. Inside the station, lights shifted to red. Defense systems powered up automatically, without anyone giving orders. Weapons? Thera asked. No, Vexer said. They're not attacking. They're blocking scans. The council ships began to send warnings. Leave the area or be destroyed. Ryle opened a channel. You're about to destroy the last hope this galaxy has. Don't make that mistake. No answer. Then a beam of light fired, not from the station, but from the space around it. A warning shot. The council fleet stopped. The hologram woman reappeared. We left the physical world, but we left behind guardians. This place is protected. One council ship powered down. Then another. Slowly, the fleet retreated. Ryl sighed with relief. Thera whispered. They saw it. Vexer nodded. They remembered. The hologram turned to them one last time. The human upgrade was not for power. It was for peace, and peace must be chosen. The lights dimmed. The tubes faded into the walls. The chamber sealed itself. Voice faded. Rael stood quietly. What now? Yarrow asked. We go back, Rael said. Not to fight, not to report. He looked at them with quiet strength, but to change. For a long time, Earth was nothing but a memory. Gone without warning. No signals, no war, just silence. But now, something had changed across the galaxy. People woke to the same strange message on every screen, in every language. We remember. Earth returns. Captain Rael stood on the bridge of the silver light, staring out into deep space. His heart beat faster. The message had come without explanation, without source. Is it real? Thera asked, her voice soft. I don't know. Rael said, but I think we're about to find out. Vexor rushed in from the CUM station. Sir, the beacon's old coordinates just activated again. Something's happening there. What do the sensors show? Gravity waves, space folding. It looks like a planet is re-entering normal space. Rael stared at the screen. Earth. Yarrow. The pilot looked nervous. Should we approach? Rael gave a slow nod. Take us in, carefully. The ship moved toward the old location of Earth, a place that had been empty for weeks, ever since the beacon appeared and vanished. But now, the void was changing. At first, it was just light. A blue glow in the blackness. Then shadows formed curving shapes, familiar outlines. And then, suddenly, Earth was there, floating in space, full in blue, just like the old images. But it wasn't the same. The oceans shimmered like silver. The clouds pulsed gently with light. Orbiting around the planet were massive black ships, perfectly still, shaped like smooth obsidian blades. Thera gasped. It's beautiful, but strange. It's not the Earth we remember, Vexor said. It's changed. No, Rael replied. It's evolved. Suddenly, their ship's systems flickered. A message appeared on every screen. We are not your enemies, but we remember what you did. The voice was calm, human, but it didn't sound like any one person. It sounded like thousands speaking as one. The message continued. We return not to punish, but to remind. We return not for war, but for balance. Across the galaxy, the message reached every council world. No system was left untouched. Ships paused mid-flight. People stopped working. Everyone listened. Back at the council hall, Leader Vorel stood frozen. The chamber was full of silence. He whispered, Earth came back. General Tava stood beside him. Her eyes were sharp. This is the moment. They're watching us. Another council member spoke, fear in his voice. What do they want? They want us to remember, Tava said. And they want us to change. Then Earth's orbit changed again. A black ship detached from the ring around the planet. It moved slowly through space straight toward the council capital world. The council panicked. Should we raise shields? Someone asked, do we fire? Do we run? Tava held up a hand. No, we do nothing. Let them come. Within hours, the black ship arrived and entered orbit above the capital. It didn't fire. It didn't speak. Then a single pod dropped. From the ship's belly. It landed gently outside the council hall. Rael watched all this unfold from the silver light's long-range screen. They're sending a message, he said. But not with words. Back on the ground, the council sent guards to the pod. But as they approached, it opened on its own. Inside was no soldier. No weapon, only a single device floating, humming quietly, a small black sphere. When they touched it, images burst into the air. Memories. Wars, peace talks, betrayals, the invasion of Earth, the silencing of survivors. Council soldiers laughing as human buildings burned. The crowd around the hall saw it all. Some wept. Some turned away, but none could deny the truth. It was all there. The past they tried to erase. Now, floating before them. Later that night, Rael received a private message on his ship. It came from Earth. He opened it. A face appeared, human, glowing, with faint blue light. Not digital, not holographic. Something else. You saw the upgrade. You chose to understand. Now we give you this message. Speak, Ryle said quietly. This is not revenge. This is reckoning. The council chose silence. Now they must choose again, truth or oblivion. What happens if they choose? Wrong? The face didn't smile. It didn't blink. Then we vanish once more. And take the stars with us. The message ended. Vexer stepped beside him. We need to prepare. For war? Ryle asked. No, Vexer said. For a new future. Over the next few days, Earth didn't speak again. But its presence changed everything. Council systems began to shut down, not from attacks, but from inside. Files rewrote themselves. Records corrected. Lies deleted. Entire planets found long-forgotten truth. Returned to them. Some welcomed it. Others fought it. But no one could stop it. Earth was not here to destroy. It was here to heal, and healing hurt. On the final night of Earth's return, the skies above the council capital turned silver. Then one final message appeared. We asked for peace. You gave us pain. Now we give you silence. Then Earth and its black ships vanished once. Again. No sound. No flash. Just gone. But what they left behind was louder than any war. The truth. And now, the galaxy had to live with it. Ryle looked out the window of his ship. The stars were quiet. But his heart was not. They returned not to fight, he said, but to remind us who we were. Thera stood beside him. The question is, who will we become? Ryle stood at the edge of the ancient ruins on Cora 7. The ground was blackened, the air cold. This place was not marked on any map. No records existed. But he had found it. Not by accident. Are you sure this is it? Thera asked beside him. Her breath was slow, uneasy. Ryl nodded. The coordinates came from Earth's last transmission. This is where it happened. Vexer scanned the area with his handheld. There are bones under us, human bones, buried deep. Burned, but the record said humans were gone peacefully, Thera whispered. Ryle's voice was quiet. The records. Lead. They had followed a trail left by Earth's silent return, a digital breadcrumb in old council archives. Hidden beneath thousands of files was a single word repeated over and over. Cora. And now they stood in the middle of what could only be described as a battlefield. Yet there were no signs of weapons. No wreckage. Just silence. And ash. Suddenly, Vexer's scanner beeped. Movement, he said. Underground. They stepped back, weapons ready. But instead of a threat, the ground opened. Dust swirled. A stone platform rose slowly from below. On top of it lay a device old, rusted, but still active. Ryle approached it carefully. It's a memory drive. Thera frowned. From the old human wars? No, Ryle said. From before the council formed. He pressed a button. And the sky changed. A hologram burst into the air clear. Massive and silent at first. Then came the voices, screams, orders, explosions. The sky showed a battle humans fighting in old armor, holding strange weapons, defending themselves from alien forces that looked far too familiar. Council ships, council soldiers. Thera stared up, horror in her eyes. This was a war, and we erased it. The image shifted. A young human commander shouted to his troops, "Hold the line. This is our last stand. If we fall here, Earth falls too." But no one had ever seen this war before. No school taught it. No file recorded it, because it had been deleted, on purpose. Who did this? Thera asked, her voice shaking. Vexer checked the markings on the memory drive. Council signature, very old. 1,000 years, maybe more. They had not just erased the humans. They erased the war that started it all. Suddenly, the hologram changed again. A new figure appeared, not human. An old alien, robed, eyes glowing faintly. He spoke directly to the recorder. We were wrong to bury The war was real. They fought not with hate, but with hope. They begged us to listen. We silenced them instead. If this message survives, forgive us. Then the recording ended. Rael looked down at the memory drive. This changes everything, Thera nodded. This war was hidden. Earth didn't disappear. It was destroyed. And when they came back, they were no longer the same. A deep hum filled the air. They turned. Floating above them, unseen before, was another black ship. Silent. Watching. Then, slowly, it lowered something. From its belly, a small, cube-shaped device. It landed gently at their feet. Thera picked it up. As she touched it, the cube lit up. A voice spoke from it. You found the truth. Now carry it. The cube floated into the air, glowing bright. Then the black ship vanished. Just like that. Gone. Ryl turned to the others. This is why Earth returned, not for revenge, for justice. For memory. Vexor looked worried. What do we do with this? Ryl stared at the cube. We show it to the council. In front of the galaxy. That night, the silver light sent a secure broadcast to every system in the galaxy. It couldn't be stopped. Couldn't be blocked. Every screen lit up with the hidden. War. The soldiers. The fire. The betrayal. The silence. And finally, the forgiveness. Some screamed. Some wept. Some denied it. But the truth was out. The forgotten war had returned. Later, in the dark halls of the council, many leaders resigned. Some were arrested, but others, like General Tava, stood tall and faced the truth. We lied, she said to the press. We hid the war. We turned Earth into a ghost. But now the ghost speaks, and we must listen. Across space, whispers spread. Humans had never been weak. They had been silenced. And now, they were rising. Rael watched the stars from his ship. The silence felt different now. Not empty. But full. Thera stood beside him. What happens next? Rael smiled faintly. We tell the last part of the story. The grand hall of the Galactic Council was no longer quiet. Thousands of voices shouted over each other. Leaders from every known species argued, panicked, and pointed fingers. The message from the forgotten war, the human war, had spread across the galaxy like fire. Old allies now looked at each other with doubt, and at the center of it all sat Counselor Viren, cold, still, pretending to remain in control. But even he knew things were breaking. This is madness, hissed Counselor Zari of the Creel. The footage could be fake, created by rebels. General Tava slammed her fist on the table. It's real. I confirmed the source myself. It came from a sealed vault under Council command. Rael stepped forward from the shadows of the chamber. He wasn't supposed to be here. Humans were still considered outsiders by many. But now, the truth had changed everything. You lied about us, Rael said calmly, his voice echoing in the chamber. You erased our pain. You called us extinct. You let the galaxy mock us while we were nothing but dust and ghosts. Some counselors looked away, others glared. Counselor Viren rose from his seat. This meeting is not for the likes of you. Guards, stop! Tava shouted. The guards hesitated. She stepped toward Viren slowly. He has the right to speak. You have the most to answer for. Vren's face twitched. You dare accuse me? I have protected this council for over 300 years. By burying the truth, Rael said. By destroying Earth's voice. You don't understand what that war would have done, Viren snapped. The galaxy was on the edge of chaos. We needed peace, unity, not a violent, unpredictable species demanding a seat at our table. So you made us vanish, Rael said. Viren pointed at him, eyes wild. You were dangerous. You still are. Thera stepped forward from the crowd. We weren't the ones who started the war. The council did. You invaded. You forced us to fight. Rael held up the cube, still glowing with stored data from the old war. Everyone has seen the truth now, he said. And no one will follow. your lies anymore." A voice spoke from behind them. "Then it's time we end this." It was Counselor Drix, the eldest of the Rolfak species. His people had always stayed neutral, silent, watching, but now his voice was cold and clear. "We cannot allow a council built on lies to continue. VRN must step down, now." "You can't," VRN began. Tava drew her weapon. "Try to stop it, and we'll drag you down ourselves." Counselor Zari stood up, shaking. "This is a coup." "No," Drix said. "This is justice." Around the chamber, lights began to flicker. One by one, counselors disconnected their links to Vren's rule. A vote began, not through speeches, but by silence. Every disconnected voice was a final blow. VRN stepped back, pale. This is betrayal." "No," Ryle said softly. "This is history correcting itself." Suddenly, alarms blared. A message appeared on every screen in the chamber. "Unauthorized fleet approaching. Origin. Sol system." VRN laughed bitterly. "You see? The humans are invading again." Tava checked. "The data." Her face tightened. "No, they're not attacking." Thera looked at the scan and gasped. "They're protecting us." The human fleet wasn't pointing weapons at the council. It was surrounding it. Defensive positions only. A new message appeared on the screen. "Counselor Vren's arrest is required. Humanity requests peaceful justice, no violence." Drix stood. "So, even now you offer peace, after everything done to you?" Real said nothing. He didn't need to dot it, was enough. Guards surrounded. VRN. He didn't fight. He didn't scream. He just lowered his head and whispered, "They were never supposed to come back." Outside, as VRN was taken away, the banners of the council were lowered, not burned, not destroyed. Just brought down. So something new could rise. Later that day, a broadcast went out from the former council chambers. This time, Ryle stood alone. "In front of the galaxy, we are not here for revenge. We are not here to rule. We are here to remember. To make sure what was done in darkness never happens again. Humanity was erased once, never again." The galaxy listened, and something changed. Fear turned to respect. Doubt turned to belief. Across 1,000 worlds, statues of council leaders were pulled down, not with hate, but with truth. People asked questions. People learned. And for the first time in a long time, they listened. Inside the old chamber, Thera walked up to Ryle. "You did it." "No," Ryle said. "We did. The truth did." She smiled. "So what now?" He looked out at the stars. "We build something better." But deep in the void, far away, something else stirred. A hidden enemy, a watcher, one that had waited through war, silence, and truth. And now, it remembered the humans too. The stars had never been this quiet. After the fall of the Galactic Council, a strange silence spread across the galaxy. Not the silence of fear, not the silence of death, but the silence before something new is born. On the rebuilt Earth, now surrounded by orbital rings and silver ships, humanity had changed. Not with fire and destruction, but with patience, memory, and power. Inside the old council chamber, now called the Unity Hall, Rail stood before a new assembly. Aliens from dozens of species sat together, equal, free. Thera walked beside him, whispering, "They're all waiting for you." Rail looked around, calm but serious. "Then let's not keep them waiting." He stepped forward to speak. "Not long ago, we were shadows, forgotten, lied about, called monsters. But today, we do not return to claim revenge. We return to lead, not above others, but beside them." A soft murmur passed through the crowd. "We remember what was done to us, but we choose to rise without hate. This galaxy has too many scars already. It needs healing." Counselor Drix, now a respected elder voice, nodded from his seat. "Humans are no longer a ghost. They are the fire that brings light. But far above, in deep orbit, something stirred. A signal. Ancient, cold. Unfamiliar. On a hidden moon beyond the reach of most ships. A machine flickered back to life. Its single red eye blinked. Its systems hummed, and it remembered a word spoken. Only in whispers. Soul ascension. Back in orbit, Admiral Kira of the Titan-class human fleet noticed the signal. "Commander, are you seeing this?" She said. The screen showed strange coordinates near the galactic edge. Unmarked. UNTRAVED.RYL. Received the message moments later. He frowned. That sector was sealed during the last war. Thera raised an eyebrow. Sealed by who? That's the problem, Ryle said quietly. No one remembers. Admiral Kira patched in again. We're picking up a beacon. It's human in origin, but the code is over 1,000 years old. Everyone in the hall paused. Drix leaned forward. Could it be one of your lost colonies? Reel shook his head. We never had colonies that far out. The beacon repeated. Soul ascension active. Directive Prime unlocked. Kira stared at the data. There's more. A message embedded in the code. Play it, Ryle said. Room fell into total silence as a voice echoed through the chamber. Human voice. Rough. Calm. Commanding. If you're hearing this, then Earth survived. That means our failsafe worked. The Council couldn't stop everything. We left a piece behind, a plan. One day, we would return not just to live, but to lead. Everyone stared at each other. The voice continued. This is Commander Rowe of Soul Ascension. If this signal reaches you, we are ready. We have evolved beyond the physical. We are the next step. Come find us, if you dare. The signal ended. Thera whispered. That voice sounded human, but different. Reel's hands trembled. It was from the Final Defense Project. The one no one believed existed. Soul Ascension wasn't just a weapon, it was an experiment. A way to escape extinction, even if we died. Drix spoke slowly. Then some humans became something else. Ascended, Rail said. They became pure energy, memory, data, mind. Admiral Kira looked uncertain. Should we go there? Or leave it alone? Ryle took a breath. We have to go. Thera looked at him. Why? Because if they've been watching, they may think we've become weak, peaceful, vulnerable. He turned toward the assembly. This is not the end of our journey. Humanity rose from fire, and we chose peace. But if the past returns, if the Ascended believe the galaxy needs control, not freedom. He paused. Then we must show them that evolution didn't change our hearts. Drix stood with him. Then go. But not alone. A dozen species rose to their feet. We'll send our best, said Zari of the Creel. We owe humanity more than we can repay. Ships prepared. A joint fleet, the first of its kind, was launched days later. Inside the command bridge, Reel stood with Thera, Kira, and alien captains around him. Before them, the stars stretched wide, unknown and waiting. As they approached the ancient sector, strange readings appeared. Gravity rippled. Time bent. Lights danced like ghosts. Kira's voice was tense. We're being scanned, not by weapons, but by thought. Thera gripped her seat. Something knows we're here. A voice returned. You should not have come. Ryle stood up. We are not enemies. We are the ones you left behind. A long pause. Then, we remember everything. And we will see if you're ready. The stars lit up, but not with fire. With shapes. Forms of light. Old Earth ships, but glowing, humming, pulsing with impossible energy. Humans, but not made of flesh. Made of memory. Of code. Of will. A final test was coming, not of war, but of purpose. Ryle whispered, so this is what we became. Thera smiled, even as her hands shook. Let's find out if they still call us human. And as the ships moved forward into the light, a new chapter of the galaxy began. not of conquest, not of revenge, but of evolution. Humanity had risen from ashes. Now, it was time to ascend.